So 2 days ago, I was out here walking in the snow. Obviously, there's no snow now. And I was thinking about how the riverbed or stream bed experiences turbidity, or the motion of water, or turbulence. And I was thinking at that moment when I was there, I was like in a short, a shallow part of the stream. I was having all the froth and the splash and the, what do you call those things? The eddies. They're all happening. The rapids, it was rapid. Everything felt rapid. And I had to acknowledge that I was scared. And then I started to look at the deeper water. And the water was still flowing. It had the same motion. But none of the surface things were showing. So you could still see a full reflection of a tree, or a reflection of a bird, or whatever in the background down on that water, even though the water and current were still absolutely moving. And I also had to acknowledge that there was a part of me that was feeling like both were true. That I was scared. There's a part of me, mostly for my children, and just for uncertainty. But then there's another part of me, there was like this deep part of me that knew that things are going to keep moving, and I didn't always have to react. I didn't always have to have the answers right away. So it's like a wisdom, but also a wisdom that's rooted in not really knowing. And I think part of it is just, allowing myself to not have the answer, which is scary. I like to be right. I'm sure everyone likes to be right. I even have a practice of trying to not be right sometimes. Especially in relationships, being right definitely doesn't serve me very well. So I don't know what people in our yoga group are feeling these days. But I can be honest, or at least from what I'm feeling right now, is that I'm feeling both fear and relief simultaneously. Relief is probably a little more scattered. We've certainly had a turbulent trip up here to Massachusetts, and I guess just some settling in and trying to figure out all the things that we have to figure out. Some of my concern sometimes is, how am I going to survive this financially when my entire income has been built on being with and touching people and helping people in person? And you're watching my biggest fears right now, connecting through digital interfaces with humans, because I don't really get to have what I do, or sort of in my gift of teaching, is interaction and presence. So I open up to receive whatever the group is giving me and respond, and try to dance with everyone who's practicing with me, so that my hope is that we open up a channel together. And so now I'm in this phase of having to do something that feels very unnatural to me, to look at myself, which I'm doing right now, in a screen, and talk to what feels like a flashing red light. But anyway, I think the thing that I have to learn now is that I will be trying to put out digital stuff as long as it feels right, and it feels helpful to people. But the moment of presence will have to be with myself, which sometimes when I'm practicing while teaching, it is the best version of me. So I can talk to my own body so that everyone can have a conversation with their own bodies. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting thing. One of the biggest things that I'll be, working on is just the simple fear of connecting with myself in a digital format, which I know nothing about, with a group of people who are used to me in a very different light. So it's going to be a bit of vulnerability to watch me struggle. And I struggle. Everyone, I think, in class, you probably know how much I struggle. So putting it putting my struggle in a room with four walls and it never leaves is a little less daunting than it being published online for everyone to see my failures and farts and whatever else that comes out of me. So I'll leave everyone with this. I think this moment is calling me to find my deepest knowing or unknowing. It just depends on how you want to look at it. But that looking outside, and that's not to say connecting with others. I mean, we equally need to connect with others as much as we can digitally, or if you have Corona buddies, then connect with them. But I think I'll just speak for myself. I need to revisit the child that's in me and let that child come through and let that play come through and let life happen. Because I think the biggest fear, coming down to me used to be death. But that really isn't true anymore. And I feel like that child in me is calling me to life and to live. And living is scary, and it's fun and fabulous and filled with pains and pleasures and all the fun stuff. So I think that I'll leave you, as I was trying to leave you with something earlier, I'll leave you with, we'll call it homework. Now, homework is, what is the one thing that your body needs right now? And then if you could film that very uncomfortably like I'm doing it right now, and then send it to me. You can put it on YouTube or something. It needs to be like a minute or two so that I can handle it. Send it to me, and then maybe we can all have a shared practice of everyone's own inner child. So it could be shaking your body, it could be dancing, it could be resting, it could be holding your heart, whatever it happens to be. that would be amazing if you could all share something like that. And then I will be posting, practices as best I can. It's supposed to snow for the next 5 days, so it might be some snowga. I'll be posting some breathing practices as well, which you can be doing inside, etc. Yeah, that's it. This is probably the scariest thing I've ever done, and I will say I love you all, including you, Josh, there in this screen that's holding. Oh, yeah, one last thing. Before I was walked out here to film this, I was holding my, Goldie before she went to take a nap. And she, within a couple of minutes fell asleep. She kind of fought it, as she always does, as babies do. She took a while to let go, but once she let go, she was at peace and almost smiling. And looking at her, I could definitely see her mother and me in her face. So if you could take time to hold yourself like you would hold a baby, maybe even 2 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it is, whatever that means to you. And you might thrash and resist just like a baby does. That's okay. But hold yourself in some way. And then be the baby being held too, so that you are the holder and the holdee, if those are words, I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to say I love you to all of you, and maybe there'll be more of these, I don't know, but that's all. I would say namaste, but I'll do one hand namaste.